that song said shake. And that's what we came here to do this weekend, right? We came to shake down Orlando. Right? So when you and I leave here on Sunday, they're going to know about fivelings. Right? So turn to the person next to you and say, it's about to go down. Now, if they don't look like it's about to go down, run. Because everything is about energy, and you don't want any of that on you, right? Now, before I even start, did C. Anthony do a fantastic job? Can you guys give it up for my mentor and friend, Mr. C. Anthony Harris? I thought that meditation session was incredible. You know, many of us call it visualizations, but what C just helped you do is put yourself into your future. And how many of you are excited about the future that's ahead of you? You know, I was sitting back there thinking about my journey. And I think that you and I can compare fivelings to what happens in the jungle. I know many of you have not been to a jungle before, but I'm from Africa, and we know about jungles. One of the things that happens every morning in the jungle is that when the gazelle gets up, it knows that it has to run faster than the fastest lion, otherwise it'll be killed. And the lion wakes up and knows that it has to outrun the slowest gazelle or it'll starve to death. That's how it is in the world, guys. It's a concrete jungle out there. And every morning, as soon as your feet hit the concrete, you better be running. That's why you're here this weekend. And as I'm going through my training, it's only going to take me about 40 or so minutes, maybe 30 or 40 minutes. I want you to keep asking yourself one question. Are you a lion or are you a gazelle? Are you a lion or are you a gazelle? You see, prior to fivelings, I was a gazelle 80% of the time. As soon as my feet hit that concrete, I was running. I was running away from all that I knew I was not. I was running to get to work, doing 90 in a 65, just because I did not want to get in 5 minutes late. Because if you got in 5 minutes late, you know exactly what happens. Does anybody get in late and get called in? 80% of the time, I was a gazelle. I was running away from my fears. I was running away from my doubts. I was running away from my insecurities. I was running away from all the things that were holding me back. But most of all, I was running away from poverty. I don't know about you guys. Maybe you're fine. But you know, even though I had a good job, I was unable to make ends meet 90% of the time. The phone bill was always late. The rent was always late. The car note was always late. My kid was in public school. The daycare rent payment was always late. How many of you can relate to any of that? Are you a gazelle? Or were you a lion? For me, the shift happened in 2005. You see, I got that phone call to go to a PBR. How many of you have had that phone call to go to a PBR? You know, I walked in there super duper excited because I knew something was about to change. And as soon as I made the decision, the lion in me woke up. Right now, 80% of the time, the lion in me is in charge. The lion in me says, you know what? I know who I am. I know whose I am. I'm created in the image of God, so I can be, do, and have anything that I want. So I'm going to fiercely, aggressively, and ferociously go after what is mine. How many lions do I have in here? Make some noise if you're a lion. I'm glad you made some noise. But you know what I see? I see 90% of lions in here dressed in gazelle clothing. That's what I see. And let me tell you something. I want to ask you for your permission. Do I have your permission over the next 30 minutes to be radically, completely, no hold bars, honest with you? Can we have real talk in here? You know, I'm going to empty myself into you, pour out my spirit into you. But I'm asking you for your permission because I might say some things that might hurt. But it's okay because easy life don't get anybody anywhere. Right or right? Why are you here? Are you a lion or are you a gazelle? And what I want to do is I'm going to share some numbers with you. I want to have true talk with all of you. This room is pretty balanced. Do you know that the average lifespan in America is 81 years for females? Yeah. And 77 for men. So if you're here with your husband, make sure he gets life insurance. I didn't say it. We're going to outlive you by at least 4 years. Can I hear it from the ladies? Well, and if that's the case, do you realize that the average American will spend 1/3 of their lives working a job? You know, if it's 80 years, all of us are going to work for at least 30 to 40 years. So you're going to spend 1/3 of your lifespan working a job. And what that means, Fivelings, is that by the end of this year, when the clock ticks midnight on December 31st, you and I would have spent at least 2,100 hours at our jobs. And if you do the math, if you keep on doing the same thing, guys, at the end of 40 years, you would have spent 84,000 hours at a job you don't like. I want that to sink in for a moment. And you're going to say, King Pinyin, how dare you say I'm working a job that I don't like? Who are you to tell me that I'm going to spend 84,000 hours in my lifespan working a job that I don't like? And I'm going to tell you that prior to Fivelings, I was a gazelle. I woke up at dark 30 in the morning trying to beat traffic to get into work. I did that day after day after day, year after year after year, until I met Fivelings. And what I do know is that many of us did not like the fact that we had to get up from sleep before we were done sleeping to go to work. Many of us women did not like the fact that we had to take our little babies, 2 months old sometimes, to the daycare. I don't know about you, but many of us could not afford nannies at home. And for a woman, that's heartbreaking. And that's when my shift started happening. And so I know that, and I'm going to say this to you. Let's have reality check. You spend at least 10 hours a day at your jobs. And why am I bringing this into you? Because my training today is about helping you make a shift. Can you guys say the shift? That's what the next 30 minutes is going to be about. As a matter of fact, the shift started happening this morning when Sharice Richards came up here. Can you guys give Sharice a huge round of applause? You spend at least 10 hours a day at work. That's what the average American does. And all of this is statistics that I got from online. You're going to spend at least 8 hours a day sleeping. Now, when I saw this one, I started laughing because whoever put up these statistics did not know about the shifts. Because if you're a nurse in here or a doctor or a pharmacist, you know, like I know, that to make ends meet, you're going to have to work long hours. How many of you in here know about working doubles? I know about working doubles because Sonny and I used to do just that. I had a job, Denzel was a job, Sonny had a full-time job, and Sonny taught part-time at school. Why? Because we were trying to make ends meet. Not realizing that as of today in the U.S., the average household income is $25,000. The average income is $25,000. And the average household income is $50,500. Now, guys, if you take off your favorite uncle's part of that, Uncle Sam. This uncle I always give money to, but he ain't never sent me a Christmas gift yet. How many of you know Uncle Sam? Take off Uncle Sam's money, and you're not really making $50,500 per household. Right now in this country, overwhelmingly, the majority of people, more than 50% of Americans, make less than $50,500 per household. That's why you're here today. We got to make a shift. Because where I come from, I guarantee you, in Maryland, that money is not going to go far. Back up the rent, back up the car note, back up the bills, back up food, and you're broke. How many of you know that you're broke in here? I'm sorry, but how many of you know that you're broke in here? And if you're broke, why stay in gazelle mode when the lion is asleep inside of you? Because every one of us has a lion and a gazelle inside of us. The only difference is the wealthy people in the world spend 80% of their time in lion mode. And the rest of us spend 80% of our time in gazelle mode. That's why we're broke. We keep going to the jobs. It's just J-O-B, just on bills. They give you enough to keep you coming back until you know that you are created in the image of God, and you can be, do, and have anything. And whatever it is that person who's employing you got it inside of you. It's only up to you to step up. That's why we're here this weekend, guys. Enough is enough. You know, if you came in here 8 years ago when I came in, it was hard. It was really hard. You want to know about hard? Ask Ian and Stella Chebby. You want to know about hard? Ask Julio and Marlene Daniels. You want to know about hard? Ask Vaughn and Candice Villafana. You want to know about hard? Ask Tashina Pettiford. You want to know about hard? Ask Stan Richards. Ask Sharice Richards. Ask Lisa Cloud. It was hard. My gosh, there were days when rep services had no clue what was going on. When I got started, there were less than 10 people working at corporate. 3 of them were Craig, Jeff, and Jason. We were just getting started, guys. But you guys are sitting on the shoulders of giants today. And let me tell you something. When you got giants to sit on, you better sit on those giants. Because all across America, there's a revolution going on. But what I see in here is 90% of lions in gazelle clothing. Who are you? Are you a lion? Or are you a gazelle? 24 hours is all that we have. If you want more than 24 hours, go create your own planet. But right here, the rule is God gave you and I 24 hours. What you do with every single one of those hours is going to determine where you end up. At the end of this year, wherever you're going to be is going to be a direct function of what you spend the last 365 days doing. Hours. Hang around you for a day, and I'll tell you where you're going. Because the secret of your future is hidden in your daily agenda. What do you do with those hours? What do you do with those hours? Because 10 is already gone working for somebody else. 8 is done sleeping if you get up to that. 5 of those hours is what you do. Leisure, you do all the other things that you do, household work. If you're single, that's when you're trying to find a man or you're trying to find a girl, you know, things like that. Hey, can we have real talk in here? Because there's some people here who are looking for girls, and there's some girls here who are looking for guys. That's okay, it's not a problem, but just don't spend too much of your time looking for girls or guys. Because at the end of it all, you only have 1 hour left. What are you going to do with your hour? How did King Pinyin become a double platinum? I spent my 1 hour well. Tim, what did King do with my 1 hour? I bought your phone. Because when I came in, Tim Orbica was the only first SVP in the company. I wanted to know what Tim knew, so I got on Tim's good books. Who was in your circle? How many books have you read this year? We're almost coming up to the end of the year. Your uplines are upline SVPs and platinums and double platinums because they read books this year. How many books have you read? You see, overwhelmingly many of us in here are African Americans. If you want to hide something from an African American, put it in a book and put it next to their bedside. Enough of it already, guys. I don't care about the 1%. Because whatever the 1% got, I got too. Color ain't got nothing to do with it. Accent ain't got nothing to do with it. Beauty ain't got nothing to do with it. Intelligence ain't got nothing to do with it. You just got to wake up to who you are. And that's who I'm speaking with today. I'm not talking to your physical bodies. I'm bypassing your physical body, your emotional body. I'm passing your mental body. And I'm going direct to your soul. And I'm saying, wake up, lions. And you're going to say, King Pinyin, how dare you ask me to wake up? Look up there. We're having real talk. It says 87% of you do not like your job. I didn't say that. It's numbers. It says 50% of you do not feel fulfilled at your jobs. I know that because I was not fulfilled. 25% of you know very well that your jobs is the cause of stress in your life. Number one cause of stress in your life. 41% of you in this room are living paycheck to paycheck. 41% of you, that's unacceptable. Why? Because the gazelle is in control. And if you think I'm lying, 70% of you are not motivated by what you do at all. That's just the truth. You get up in the morning just because you don't want to get fired. You get in at work, 4:30, you're so tired. At 5 o'clock, man, as soon as you get out of that office, energy comes in from nowhere. That's just the truth. 50% of you in here are overworked and underpaid. Am I lying? Can I keep talking? Can I keep on talking, guys? 50% of us in here are overworked and underpaid. You know what? The reason why King Pinyin's shift happened was because I woke up one morning and realized that somebody was paying me too little. And I wanted more. What do you want? 67% of you are working in the wrong field. You see, you're trying to get by. So somebody said medicine and you're a doctor today. Somebody said nursing and you're a nurse today. Somebody said pharmacist and you're a pharmacist today. Somebody said engineer and you're an engineer today. But God sent you here for a purpose. Every one of us is a soul. We're spiritual beings on a physical experience on earth. Nobody needs to tell you what you need to do in order to come into your own. Have you sat back and ask you why you're here? Why are you here today, guys? You're here today because all of you have jobs. You're here today because you're trying to answer to that call. Who are you? 72% of you are in a job where you're undermined and passed over for promotions regularly. How do King know that? King is a woman. How does King know that? King is a black woman. How does King know that? King is a black woman from the motherland. How does King know that? King is a woman with an accent. How does King know that? King is a woman without a master's degree. And so even though King can train all the people, King has a glass ceiling over her head. How many of you know that there's a glass ceiling over your head right now? Ouch. It's going to hurt a little bit. I said I asked for permission. Don't shoot me. Don't shoot me. 80% of you work while you're on holiday, and you call it a vacation. That vacation that's on your MasterCard or your credit card or your Visa card or your American Express, that's not a vacation. And while you and I are doing all that, the fat cats on Wall Street are jetting around in private jets. Why? They answer to the lion inside of them. What are you going to do about this? I want you guys to think about it for a second. What are you going to do about that? What are you going to do about that? I just gave you the facts. I didn't make them up. That's just the reality. What are you going to do about that? How many of you think it's time to make a shift? How many of you think it's time for a shift? How many of you know that it's time for a shift? Guys, I want you to watch this video and then decide if it's time for you to make a shift. Can I have the video? Jeff, do you have my video? Good. I want you to pay attention.
Rise and shine. 6 a.m. and your hand can't make it to the alarm clock before the voices in your head start telling you that it's too early, too dark, and too cold to get out of bed. Aching muscles lie still in rebellion, pretending not to hear your brain commanding them to move. A legion of voices are shouting their unanimous permission for you to hit the snooze button and go back to dreamland. But you didn't ask their opinion. The voice you've chosen to listen to is one of defiance. A voice that says there was a reason you set that alarm in the first place. So sit up, put your feet on the floor, and don't look back, because we've got work to do. Welcome to the grind. For what is each day but a series of conflicts between the right way and the easy way? 10,000 streams fan out like a river delta before you, each one promising the path of least resistance. Thing is, you're headed upstream. And when you make that choice, when you decide to turn your back on what's comfortable and safe and what some would call common sense, well, that's day one. From there, it only gets tougher. So just make sure this is something you want, because the easy way out will always be there, ready to wash you away. All you have to do is pick up your feet. But you aren't going to, are you? With each step comes the decision to take another. You're on your way now, but this is no time to dwell on how far you've come. You're in a fight against an opponent you can't see, but oh, you can feel him on your heels, can't you? Feel him breathing down your neck. You know what that is? That's you. Your fears, your doubts, and insecurities all lined up like a firing squad, ready to shoot you out of the sky. But don't lose heart. While they're not easily defeated, they are far from invincible. Remember, this is the grind, the battle royale between you and your mind, your body, and the devil on your shoulder who's telling you that this is just a game. This is just a waste of time. Your opponents are stronger than you. Drown out the voice of uncertainty with the sound of your own heartbeat. Burn away your self-doubt with a fire lit beneath you. Remember what we're fighting for, and never forget that momentum's a cruel mistress. She can turn on a dime with the smallest mistake. She is ever searching for the weak place in your armor, that one tiny thing you forgot to prepare for. So as long as the devil is hiding the details, the question remains, is that all you got? Are you sure? And when the answer is yes, when you've done all you can to prepare yourself for battle, then it's time to go forth and boldly face your enemy, the enemy within. Only now you must take that fight into the open, into hostile territory. You're a lion in a field of lions, all hunting the same elusive prey with a desperate starvation that says victory is the only thing that can keep you alive. So believe that voice that says you can run a little faster, and you can throw a little harder, and that for you, the laws of physics are merely a suggestion. Luck is the last dying wish of those who want to believe that winning can happen by accident. Sweat, on the other hand, is for those who know it's a choice. So decide now, because destiny waits for no man. And when your time comes and 1,000 different voices are trying to tell you you're not ready for it, listen instead to that lone voice of dissent. The one that says you are ready, you are prepared. It's all up to you now.
Rise and shine, Fivelings. Rise and shine. Rise and shine, guys. It's time for us to rise and shine. How many of you in here are ready to rise and shine? How many of you in here are ready to fight until the end? How many of you are ready to keep on stepping one foot in front of the other one until you get to platinum? How many of you are ready for greatness, guys? What I want to do over the next few minutes is give you a roadmap. Is that okay? I'm going to give you the same roadmap that all of us have followed. All the platinums, all the SVPs, all the double platinums, the co-founders, and all the successful people in this company. It's very simple. Fivelings is not rocket science. That's all you need to know. First thing is you need to know your numbers. But before you know your numbers, if you want to follow me, text King space Pinyin to 55469. I don't spam you. You don't have to text me if you don't want to. But if you think I got value to add to you, feel free to text. All I do is a conference call on Mondays, and I train you, talk about my journey. And I do have conferences that come up occasionally, especially for the women. So that's my information up there. If you're not following me on Twitter, at King Pinyin. Or on Facebook, my favorite place in the whole wide world. How many of you are my Facebook friends in here? Don't we have a good time on Facebook? There you go. And you can also visit my website, kingpinyin.com. Know your numbers. This number right here was something that woke me from sleep this year. You see, how many of you have signed up into Fivelings, and there are many people who tell you it's a pyramid scam? How many of you know people who think this is a pyramid scam? See, my luck when I got started with 5 Links was I had no clue what network marketing was. I never heard the term MLM. But I saw the portfolio and it made sense to me. And let me tell you something, guys. When it makes sense to you, go after it. Forget about your mom. Forget about your dad. Forget about your cousins. Forget about your friends. It will not make sense to them if this is not for them. Are you guys with me? It made sense to me. And it made sense to all the other platinums. That's why when somebody said, is it a pyramid? We say it's okay. But many of you are going to say, hey, what is that thing? A pyramid? That's what you're going to ask your uplines when you hear that from your friends and your family members. Well, who cares if it's a pyramid? Who really cares if it's a pyramid in here? You know why I don't care if it's a pyramid? Because look at the numbers. That's the numbers for 2012. 9.5 billion from the NFL. The almighty music industry, 16.5 billion. Video gaming, 67. Movie industry, 80. Organic products, 91. Network marketing, freaking MLM, $167 billion. I know my numbers. Do you know your numbers? Because when somebody who knows their numbers meets with somebody who thinks it's a pyramid scam, you know what you think in your head? The ignorant are always very outspoken. Have you guys noticed that confident people don't talk? You know who I follow? I follow the quiet people because they know what I don't know. Don't fall for the hype, guys. It's hot noise. It's white noise. Confidence does not scream. It's like the sun. None of us forces the sun to come up. It just shines. That's the sun. When you know your numbers, that's how you feel. And when you start feeling that way, confidence goes out of you. But many of you overwhelmingly are gazelles. And what goes out of you is fear. What goes out of you is insecurity. It's those things that you and I really are. And so no matter what you're saying to them, because you think it's a pyramid scam, the confidence is not there. Can you guys say confidence? Say it like you mean it. Say confidence. You see, if people do not think you're arrogant, you got a problem. Because it's a very thin line between confidence and arrogance. Confidence, guys. But it starts with knowing your numbers. And you know what is so amazing about $167 billion? Is that unlike the jobs that the ignorant are working, this money was split amongst individuals like you and I in the pyramid scheme. Get used to it. I wake up every morning and I say, I'm glad to be in the pyramid. I'm so glad to be in the pyramid. You know why? Because the cream always goes to the top. Ain't nobody stopping you from going to the top. If you know you're a lion, you're going to rise and shine. You know, somebody said to me, King, the pyramid thing is where the people at the top make all the money. And I said, how did they get to the top? King, you and Sonny are lucky. You came into 5 Links when it was just new. How did we get to the top? Who are you? Are you a lion? Or are you a gazelle? Why are you here this weekend? Do you know your numbers? Once you get your numbers out of the way, there's a process in 5 Links. Do you know your 5 Links process? Do you know about document 707? See, many people are trying so hard to figure 5 Links out. And I'm thinking, what is there to figure out? Document 707. Even my 80-year-old grandmama can figure this thing out. How many of your grandmas can figure this thing out? What is a 5 Link system, guys? Document 707. Get customers, get business partners. And the third thing that all the platinums will tell you is on top of that you got to grow from the inside out. Many of you are gazelles because you're refusing to grow from the inside out. You see, growth is extremely uncomfortable. Growth is terribly uncomfortable. You're going to get laughed at, mocked, ridiculed, spit on. But guess what? Even though my face is bowed down, my nose bloody, I'm going to grow. That's what you have to say before you grow. Who cares what anybody thinks about you? Who cares if anybody likes you? All you got to know is that when I wake up this morning, I have to be better than who I was yesterday. You know why? Because it's insanity to keep playing the same pattern and expecting different results. That's why you're not growing. I want to tell you something, guys. It's a lie if you think you're not growing in 5 links because of your uplines. It's a big lie if you think you're not a platinum because of the comp plan. It's a big lie, a big fat one, if you are not an SVP because there are no SVPs in your market. You know how I know that? Because before all the SVPs and the platinums got to SVP and platinum, there was no SVP. When I came into 5 links, there was no SVP all over Maryland, DC, Virginia, New York, New Jersey, Delaware, Richmond, North Carolina. There was no SVP. The closest SVP to me was John Jones in Atlanta, 12-hour drive. But we got to SVP. We huddled up. Lisa, Stan, Sharice, Tish and I, Tupac came in later on. We huddled up, and we got to SVP. You know why? You know why, guys? We were hungry. We were hungry. We were honest with ourselves. We were not lying to ourselves. We knew that 9 to 5 was not working because we had worked it for a long time. We knew it was not going to cut it for us. We knew we wanted more. We knew we needed to go out there and look for more. And if you see all of us today, we're still going for more. What stories are you telling yourselves? What stories are you telling yourselves? Oh, King, I'm from the wrong neighborhood. Your neighborhood cannot be worse than where I'm from in Africa. Oh, King, my family is broke. Nobody in my family ever went to college. My family was that way too. That's no excuse. Are you guys with me? Oh, King, it's because I'm black. I have an accent. I'm too fat. I'm too thin. You know what? Go look at the person in the mirror next time you say that. And after you say it, I want you to burst out laughing and say, you know what? Get out of my head. Because inside of me is a lion, and I'm going to rise and shine. Because at the end of the day, nobody cares. You can make all the excuses that you want. Nobody's going to pay your bills for you. Nobody's going to send your kids to private school. Nobody's going to buy your red bottoms. Nobody's going to help you buy the nice clothes. Nobody's going to take you on vacations. Nobody's going to give you spending money. Nobody ain't going to do nothing for you. It's up to you guys to rise and shine. Last time I checked, every one of us signed a form. It said independent marketing reps. But we can huddle up together and build a business. But we're not going to break a neck trying to help you grow. Enough is enough already. You know what? I came in here today to talk to you guys, to let you know that if your uplines are complacent with you, that's why you're stuck. You got to wake up and rise and shine. Because you know what? The comp plan is open to all of us. There are no isms in 5 links. If there were isms, I would not be speaking to you. You got to rise and shine. Who cares if your dad molested you? Who cares if your mom left you? Who cares if you're a single woman? There's so many single women here who are successful in 5 links. Lisa Clark got to platinum as a single woman before she met Darren. Tish did the same thing. All of you in here can do it, but you make excuses. You should look into your kids' eyes and say, you know what? I'm not going to put them through the same thing that I went through. You should look at your families and say, I'm going to get you out of the hood. You should look at your mom and say, I'm going to retire you. You know why? Because you got to be selfless. You got to rise and shine. That's why you're here, guys. You didn't come here because you wanted to come hang out. We came for real talk. And that's what King is giving you. How many of you still love me? It's real talk, guys. If you can't read, there's evening classes. Take it. When I came to America, my accent was like, what it be your name? When I came to America at the immigration office, how are you, ma'am? I said, good morning, sir. When I went to shop, Sonny had to go with me because I could never understand what they were saying. But you know what I did? And you know what I still do? Every damn day, almost every day, I'm in front of CNN. You know how I say it? There's a word called inevitable. I say inevitable. But when you're in Rome, you do what the Romans do. That's what you do. Every day I practice. All I promise you is that the next time you see me on stage, I'm going to be better than I'm not right now. But why can I say that? Why can I say that? I'm saying that because I know who I am, and I know whose I am, and I know that who I am and whose I am, all of us are. But you got to rise and shine. You got to make a shift. You know, overwhelmingly we come to the nationals, and half of the group is outside. You guys are not platinums yet. What are you doing outside? When I was on IMR, I was in the front rows. You go over to your meetings and you're in the lobbies. That's why you're average. That's why you're a gazelle. That's gazelle thinking. A lion takes charge. You know you don't know enough, so you're going after the prey. And you know where the prey is in 5 Links? It's in the halls. It's not in the hallways. Before you run over to the next company, know that the grass is not greener on the other side. Because what I found out is that the people over there are looking over here and go, wow, the Smith's lawn is green. And the Smiths are looking at the Johnsons and say, wow, the Johnsons' lawn is green. You know what? Until you fix you, your whole world is between your 2 ears. Until you get your mind right, you're not going to come into your own. Oh, how pathetic would it be to show up there, and God says, what did you do on earth? And you said, nothing. And he says, why? Because I was from the wrong neighborhood, because I was black, because I was African, because my upline didn't help me, because rep services put me on hold for 45 minutes, because my downlines quit on me, because I didn't have money to go to the nationals. God will look at you and say, do you know somebody called Craig Jerobek, Jay Singok, and Jeb Tyler? They had nothing. I gave them an idea. They came up with 5 Links. Do you see all of your uplines? They had nothing. I gave them an idea. And I gave you the same opportunity. What is it that you want to do? 5 Links may not be it all for you, but it is the vehicle. All I do today is from 5 Links. I'm an author. I'm a speaker. I'm a life and business coach. I just launched the King Pinyin talk show. Why did I do that? From 5 Links. It's time to rise and shine. What do you need to know next? Right there, the comp plan. I mean, the product portfolio. Many of us do not know what we're working with. Do you want to make a lot of money? Yes, you will make a lot of money. But money comes with knowledge. Money follows value. You add value, you make money. Right now, you don't even know what we have. You can't explain your portfolio. Why do you want anybody to go into business with you? Will you go into business with somebody who looks ignorant? That's what I ask myself every day. King, who are you looking to attract? I'm looking to attract people who are XYZ. And you know what I do? I go out there and I train myself to become like those people. You want to become like the platinums? Do what the platinums do. You want to become like the SVPs? Do what the SVPs do. You want to open up markets? Do what the SVPs and the platinums do. That's all you got to do, and everything else is history. I tell you guys, there's a giant inside every one of us. Every one of us has something inside that's so strong. And every day when you get up, say, I know I can make it. Because you can. Come plan. That's how we get paid in 5 Links. How are you going to make money if you don't know what it takes to get to these levels? When Sonny and I came in, we figured out that you can make money at ED, but you can make a whole lot of money at Platinum. So guess what we did? Go Platinum. How many of you in here want to make a whole lot of money? Turn to the person next to you and say, go Platinum. I mean, don't just say it to them. As a matter of fact, this one's you're authorized, especially if it's your husband or wife. Punch them and say, go Platinum. There are many women who wanted to slap their husbands since morning. I just gave you permission. Say, I ain't do it. King Pinyin said I'll punch you. Hey, where's Sonny? I come get yours. Right? That's how you make a whole lot of money. What's next? Personal development. You got to have a roadmap to 5 links. And it's very simple. All you got to do, attend your weekly BOMs, attend your team conference calls, go out to the regionals, go out to the Super Saturday events, come out to the nationals. That's the 5 links roadmap. That's what's going to get you to Platinum SVP. Nothing else. Do your PBRs. That's what's going to get you there. Put all of your SVPs to work. That's what you got to know. And the last thing that all of you have to know is that you got to reach your peak. You know, I already said this in my training. If you're not reading, you're dying. If you don't have a mentor, you're dying. Because mentors will teach you what they did to get to where they are in half the time. You know, I've come into 5 minutes and I've had so many mentors. You know, C. Anthony was wonderful to us when Sonny and I got started. Barry Donaldson was wonderful to us when we got started. They were our mentors. Lisa Nicole Cloud was wonderful to us. They were our mentors. I had peer mentors. We mentored each other. That was Stan and Sharice Richards, Tashina Pettiford. We all kind of came up at the same time, so we worked with each other. There are people in this room who can help you grow. And then Marty and Israel showed up somewhere down the road, and Tupac the Renacord too. And we're all peers with each other. We call each other and run things by each other right now. Are you guys with me? And then Stephen Pasha joined us down the road, and we all call each other. John Jones was my most phenomenally mentor. Because I connected to the spirit in John, and I'm a spirit-driven person. And up until today, I still call John. I take notes. He speaks, I listen. John and Patrice, who are your mentors? Who's in your head? Because the person whose voice is in your head is controlling your life. And if they ain't got what you want, you ain't never going to get what you want. Who is your mentor? Whose voice are you listening to? See, when I reached the top of the comp plan, I knew it was time for me to expand. And so I went out looking for mentors. I fish around. I don't let nobody tell me who my mentor should be, because you don't know what my life force is looking for. You don't know why God put me here. But if I'm in a room with somebody whom I'm supposed to connect with, my energy gets drawn to that, and I know I'm supposed to follow them. Jeb and Craig mentor me right now, and William and Jason. But I had to go out, and I connected with John C. Maxwell. John is my mentor. 2 hours, 4 hours every single day, I'm on a conference call with one of John's faculties. That's how I sound the way I sound right now. Because every time I speak and it's recorded, I send it over to Christian in England, and he looks at it and tells me what I need to do differently. For your check to go up, you're going to have to stand up. Who's telling you about how you look in front of a crowd? And then I needed to be driven, and I met the almighty Tony Robbins. That's my favorite of all mentors. And I met Tony, and I felt like running out of the room from here to Africa. I needed somebody to give me that kind of energy to run. And I walked up to him and said, you're going to be my mentor. Cost me $150,000, but I'm his protege. You know why? Because ultimately, I want to be a speaker. And if I get on a platform, I want to be as powerful as him. And no money is going to stop me from getting to him. Right now, many of you won't go to your BOMs because it's $20. Many of you won't come to National because it's $150. Many of you won't go up to the boot camps and the trainings that the Platinums do because it costs money. Let me tell you something. Broke ain't going to get you nowhere. If you want to make money, you've got to invest in yourself. I promise you guys, I'm saying this with absolute love. I don't care if you don't like me after this. I love you to death. Because nobody will waste time on somebody they don't love. When somebody walks out on you, they don't love you. Are you guys with me? Many of you will not pay for these trainings, but you buy the red bottoms. Many of you will not pay for these trainings, but you're going to go shop at Neiman Marcus. Many of you will spend all this money doing stuff you should not be doing. I never went on a vacation before 5 Links. Now I can go wherever I want to. I took the money and I invested in myself. You got to invest in yourselves, guys. When you go back to your market, what's the next 4 months going to be? What's the next 4 months going to be like for you guys? What are you going to do differently? What are you going to do to get you closer to your goals and your dreams? What are you going to say enough is enough of? What are you committing today to make a shift in, guys? What are you going to shift around? Is it your stinking thinking? Is it your too much confidence? Is it your ego that needs to go? Do you need to learn to surrender? What are you going to do differently when you go back to your market? Or is this going to be it? Is this going to be it? Are we going to see you in Miami? Are we going to see you in Miami? Are we going to see you in Miami? Thank you guys very much. My name is King Pinyin.
Flavor party on!